All right, let's talk about a word you hear all the time, brand. But what does that actually mean? We're going to break it all down, look at the anatomy of a brand, and turn this kind of complex idea into something that's simple, memorable, and honestly super powerful.
Okay, first things first. We have to get this out of the way, because it's the biggest misconception there is. A brand is not a logo. Nope, a logo's just a visual shortcut, right? A symbol. But it's only one tiny piece of this much, much bigger puzzle. So, if it's not the logo, then what the heck is it?
Well, at its core, a brand is really the entire perception and experience someone has with a company. You could say it's just a gut feeling. I mean, think about Apple for a second. You don't just see the logo in your head, do you? You feel something. Maybe it's innovation, or that clean, minimalist design, or even a sense of creativity. That feeling right there, that's the brand.
So to really get a grip on this, let's use a little metaphor. We're going to talk about the anatomy of a brand. And, like with any living thing, you got to start at the core. You have to start with the soul. And for a brand, its soul is its purpose.
So what's a purpose? It's the brand's why. It's the real reason it exists, and it goes way beyond just making a profit. It's the answer to that big question, why do we even matter? And this purpose, it's like a North Star. It guides absolutely every decision, from the stuff they make to the people they bring on board. I mean, look at Patagonia. This is a perfect example of purpose in action. They're not just selling you a jacket, right? Their entire reason for being is to, and I quote, implement solutions to the environmental crisis. That one idea drives everything they do. Their product design, how they market themselves, even their political activism. It gives them this authentic soul that people don't just buy from. They actually believe in it.
Okay, so if the purpose is the brand's soul, then the mind has to be the strategy. The soul asks why, but the mind is what figures out how. This is the smart, analytical part, the brain that actually brings that big purpose to life in a really messy, competitive world.
A great brand doesn't just pop into existence. It's not an accident. It's built through a really deliberate process. You start with a ton of research and analysis. That informs your strategy. Then you can create the identity, roll it out everywhere your customers see you, and, this part's key, you have to constantly watch it and let it evolve. It's this living, breathing cycle of smart, strategic thinking.
And a huge part of that strategy is positioning. Just think about Starbucks and Dunkin'. Yeah, they both sell coffee, but they're not really fighting for the same thing at all. Starbucks is selling you a premium experience, that third place that's not home and not work. Dunkin', on the other hand, is all about affordability, speed, and convenience. It's a brilliant strategic choice that lets them both win in the same market just by talking to people with totally different needs.
All right, so we've got a soul, the purpose. We've got a mind, the strategy. Now we need a body. This is the part of the brand you can actually see and touch. This is where the logo, the colors, the fonts, all that stuff comes in. It's how you give a physical form to that soul and mind.
Let's take a look at a true classic, an absolute work of genius. You've seen the FedEx logo, what, 1,000,000 times? It looks pretty simple, right? Clean, just a couple of colors, bold letters. It definitely screams professional and efficient. But its real power is kind of hidden in plain sight. So I want you to look really close. The designer snuck a symbol in there that communicates the brand's entire promise. Can you see it? Go on, take a second.
There it is, that little arrow tucked away in the negative space between the E and the X. And that's not just some cute design trick. That arrow subconsciously screams speed, direction, and precision, which is exactly what you want from a delivery service. That's a brand's body expressing its entire purpose without ever having to say a word. So cool.
Color is another massive part of the brand's body, and believe me, these choices are never, ever random. Red gives you that feeling of energy, passion, even urgency. Perfect for Coca-Cola. Blue, on the other hand, builds trust and professionalism, which is why a giant like IBM uses it. Green, of course, signals health and nature, a total no-brainer for Whole Foods. Every single color is a strategic tool, picked to send a very specific message straight to your brain.
Okay, so our brand has a soul, a mind, and a body. But how does it talk? And that brings us to part 4 of our anatomy lesson, the brand's voice. This is all about the personality that shines through in the words it uses, the tone it takes, and a brand's voice can be just as unique as a person's. Think about Nike. Their voice is like a tough love coach. It's inspirational, it's energetic, it's confident. And then you've got a brand like Innocent Drinks. Their voice is like a quirky, funny friend, super informal and witty. Both of these voices are fantastic, and they work because they're 100% authentic to that brand's soul and its strategy.
And sometimes, if you're really, really good, you can boil that entire voice, that entire belief system, down to just 3 little words. Just do it. It's so much more than a tagline, right? It's the purest possible expression of Nike's voice. It's a command, it's a challenge, and it's inspiration, all rolled into one.
Okay, so we've assembled our brand. It has a soul, a mind, a body, and a voice. But how do you make sure all those parts work together, in harmony? Well, that brings us to the final piece of the anatomy, the thing that makes a brand feel familiar and trustworthy, its signature. And that signature is all about consistency.
This is really where the rubber meets the road. Remember that gut feeling we talked about at the very beginning? Well, that feeling is built on reliability. It's built on trust. When the visuals, the voice, the values, the customer service, when it's all aligned and feels the same every single time you interact with it, that's what builds that deep, powerful trust. It makes a brand feel dependable, that makes it feel authentic, and that is how you turn someone who just buys your stuff into someone who truly believes in you.
So there it is, the anatomy of a brand. It's not just some corporate buzzword. It's a living, breathing thing. It's got a soul, a mind, a body, a voice, and a signature. And it proves, without a doubt, that a brand is so much more than a logo. It's a complete, powerful story. Which really just leaves one final question for you to think about. Every single brand tells a story. What story will yours tell?